Welcome to the virtual Sekite Tenpachido Hall, home to kodan storyteller Kyokudo Nanshun. Tonight's kodan tale is about a classic American folk hero who lived in the old Wild West and his ride on a tornado across the North American continent. Please sit back and relax too. Pecos Bill rides a tornado.
Pecos Bill was a famous cowboy who rode around the Wild West looking for daring challenges to face. When he was a child, he fell off his family's wagon, was raised by coyotes, and then returned to human civilization a daredevil. He even tamed the wild horse Widowmaker, a horse so violent that he would throw off and unalive anyone who tried to ride him. Pecos Bill, riding on top of Widowmaker, strolled into the next town in Texas looking for a new challenge. He tied Widowmaker to a pole and goes inside the saloon. The men inside the saloon start to whisper to each other, "Pecos Bill, that's Pecos Bill." Who's Pecos Bill? You don't know him? Once he gets on the back of something, there is nothing in the whole wide world that can throw him. Yeah, I heard he rid himself a bear. I heard that he's ridden on buffalo, on gator. He's even ridden on a whale that dived into the middle of the ocean. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, Pecos Bill has ridden on everything. One man at the bar, hearing all the whispers, stands right in front of Pecos Bill himself. Oh yeah? I bet there is something that can throw you. Pecos Bill eyes him straight in the eyes. Name it. I bet you can't ride the most amazingly horrible tornado that's ever been tornadoed up in Kansas. There is a pause in the saloon and then an explosion of laughter. What are you talking about, partner? A tornado? Yeah, you can't ride a tornado. It's nothing but wind. But brave old Pecos Bill raises his hands and the crowd falls silent. A tornado, you say? Up in Kansas way? That's right. You'll find no tornado more amazing, more horrible than up there. All right, I'll take your challenge. That and I got nothing better to do. Shake hands, partner. Hope you survive. Nothing kicks off Pecos Bill. And with a click, click, click of his spurs, Pecos Bill walks out of the saloon and jumps right onto Widowmaker's back. Giddy up, Widowmaker, we got a challenge to do. And at the speed of lightning, Widowmaker shoots off. Clippity, clippity, clippity. Yeah, horses run clippity-clop, but Widowmaker runs so fast that there's no time for a clock. They head north, leave Texas, cross through Oklahoma, and reach the plains of Kansas by lunchtime. When they get into Kansas, Pecos Bill pulls on the reins and Widowmaker stops, clear on a dime. Now, Widowmaker, all we can do is wait. There's a lot of tornadoes that appear in Kansas, but none of them really satisfied Pecos Bill. Nope, too small. Nope, too weak. Come on, give me a big one. Widowmaker neighed impatiently. That one? No way, much bigger. And then over the horizon, the sky suddenly turned black and started to churn around and around and around. There was a crash and a boom and a rumble, 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 rumble as something big was approaching. Oh, look at this, Widowmaker. The color of the clouds, that sky, that roar. This is that amazingly horrible tornado we've been waiting for. Come on, let's get a closer look. After saying so, Pecos Bill spurs Widowmaker and they shoot off towards the black clouds and horrible noise ahead. They soon come face to face with the most horrible tornado that's ever been tornadoed. As Pecos Bill and Widowmaker get closer, the tornado roars over the horizon. The winds blow and blow and blow and whip around them. Pecos Bill gets off of Widowmaker right in front of the tornado, pulls his rope, makes a lasso, and spins it over his head. The ground rumbles and shakes as the tornado approaches. That horrible tornado looks down at the tiny Pecos Bill. Foolish cowboy, you will not tame me. But Pecos Bill heard not a word. In that harsh wind, Pecos Bill throws his lasso, pulls it tight around the tornado's neck, and boom! He jumps on. Pecos Bill jumps right on the back of that tornado. Tornado, you can do what you want. You can twist, you can sidewind, you can whip around to your heart's content. You will not throw me. The tornado whips right and left, left and right. Maybe you didn't hear me, tornado. You think you can throw off the great Pecos Bill? I will destroy you and everything around. Get off of me! That tornado again whips and whirls. He dives and soars. He picks up things from the ground and throws them at Pecos Bill. But Pecos Bill isn't worried at all. He whoops and hollers with excitement. One hand on the reins, one hand waving in the air. When he did this, that angry tornado got even angrier and he whips and sidewinds into a violent dance. Woohoo! I'm getting dizzy! But still, Pecos Bill cannot be thrown off. That tornado came to some rivers. It whipped and sidewinded so much that it picked up those rivers and tied them into pretty bows. Pecos Bill was impressed. Little tornado, look at you! That's pretty good! Now let's have a little more fun. Pecos Bill tightens his grip on the tornado. Doing this, the tornado cussed away. Stupid idiot, that hurts! Get off of me, you redneck! You'll pay for this! And he whipped around right to left like a sidewinding snake across the landscape. Because of this, it was a huge problem for the trees living there. When the tornado came, snap, 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 they fell, and that large forest disappeared. Pecos Bill looked at the broken trees lying here and there. Bad tornado, look what you did to that forest. You've made a plain of steaks. And the land thereafter was known as the Staked Plains. Get off of me! Get off of me! The tornado screamed, he roared, he bellowed, but Pecos Bill lightly held the reins and spurred the side of the tornado with the spurs on his boots. You've lost, tornado, give up. I'll never fall off. The tornado did his best to throw off Pecos Bill, but he just couldn't do it. I can't believe it. I am the most amazingly horrible tornado that's ever been tornadoed. I don't give up. That poor tornado tried to run away. He whipped and sidewinded to the west, so far west that he headed to California. That amazingly horrible tornado that had ever been tornadoed felt great shame in himself. Tears started to fall from his eyes, and there were so many tears that they fell like rain, and soon that rain turned into an amazingly horrible downpour. The people on the ground didn't even know what was coming. Wow, it's really raining hard. It's a downpour. No, it's not a downpour. It's a river. A river is falling. Run! All the people living there ran and ran to get away. In that amazingly horrible downpour, the land started to give away, and this way and that, a great valley was made, the likes that had never been seen before. Pecos Bill from the back of that crying tornado. What a large valley. It's a very grand canyon. However, after a while, that tornado started to lose its whipping and sidewinding power, and its whoosh started to fade, until suddenly that amazingly horrible tornado that had ever been tornadoed disappeared from under Pecos Bill. Uh-oh! From the sky, hue! Boom! Pecos Bill fell with a crash. He hit the ground so hard that he made a deep depression. Just how deep was it? It was much lower than sea level. Ow, ow, ow. What have I done? I've made a valley where people can't live. It's a death valley. Widowmaker, who was following the tornado the entire time, runs up and stops next to Pecos Bill. Widowmaker, were you following us the whole time? Why didn't you catch me? Widowmaker shook his head. Yeah, okay. Thanks for nothing. Let's go. Pecos Bill rides back to the saloon in the next town in Texas. When he walks in, the whole saloon cheers. Amazing. Truly amazing. The most daring cowboy in all the West. Pecos Bill walks up to the man at the bar who gave him the challenge. Young lad, I can't believe it. Can I buy you a drink? Yeah. Make it the worst whiskey. Why the worst one? Because my back hurts. He gets the worst whiskey in the house, gulps it down in one gulp, and his whole body jerks. Pop! Oh! Much better. Pecos Bill would have many amazing adventures and would do many amazing things, but our story will end here for now. This was Pecos Bill and his ride on a tornado.
Very special thanks go to Hiraoka Coffee, established in 1921 for providing coffee to Tenpachido Hall. Hiraoka Coffee, home of the 100-year coffee and donuts. On your way home, please visit the Tenpachido Hall Basement Cafe and buy coffee. Sign up for membership to the Kodan Performance VIP and see Kodan performances without advertisements and a week earlier than everyone else. We look forward to seeing you at the next performance.